Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we have Anindita Banerjee here, who's recently got into Deloitte as an analyst for global Deloitte application studio team as an intern and an FTA. Today she is here to share her interview experience with us. So before we talk to her, let's look at the eligibility criteria. Students of any branch with 60% or 6.5 above CGPA in the pursuing degree with no standing arrears were eligible. So now let's go and talk to her. Hi Anindita, welcome to my channel. Firstly, congratulations on your placement. Would you like to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Jishnu, for having me over. And okay, so hi everyone, I'm Anindita Banerjee. I'm from Electronics and Communications Department from Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai campus.
Okay, thank you. Now you can tell us about your interview process and how many rounds were there and what they comprised of.
Okay, so firstly, the eligibility criteria was that you will have to have 60% in your entire career and minimum 6 CGPA in all your semesters. So everyone of all branches were eligible. So almost 2,500 people had filled the form for my profile. Okay. That is Deloitte Application Studio. So I had almost 4 rounds. The first round was written round, which was divided into 3 sections: quantitative section, verbal section, and logical reasoning part. So in the quantitative section, we had to answer 25 questions in 25 minutes. So it was of medium level. Then the verbal section, it was of 25 questions in 35 minutes. So in the sections we had passages and all, and that was the most trickiest part.
Okay.
After that we had logical reasoning section. This was little tough and it had almost 25 questions in 25 minutes.
Okay.
So all the questions were medium to hard level. You could just see and solve it. So after this round, it was hosted on AMCAT platform.
Okay.
So after this round, for the next round, almost 152 people were shortlisted, and every round was knockout round. So people got shortlisted for the next round, and the rest people had to leave. So we didn't know actually, like after this first round, then almost 1 week gap was there for the next round. So we were not aware of the process, like how many rounds will be there exactly. So just a night before, I got to know that there will be a just a minute round.
Okay.
So I didn't have much time to prepare. Like at night 11:30 around, I got to know that I will be having this extra round. So I just went through some current affair topics just to be like sure, whatever. And some past interview experiences I just went through on Geeks for Geeks, like just to get the idea. So our next round started at almost 8 a.m. I was the first candidate to go into just a minute round, so I didn't also get time to interact with other people that what it exactly is. But luckily I got an easy topic. It was work from home.
Okay.
So I just went on speaking for 1 minute, like continuous. Like it's not that easy to just keep blabbering on for 1 minute. So
yeah.
I was just confident, and with a smile, I just kept talking. So I think, and I also said not only I talked about pros, but also I talked about cons. And in the end, you have to just provide a short summary.
Okay.
So I think that Sir was pretty, like he was impressed. Then for the next round, out of that 152 people, 89 were shortlisted.
Okay.
So the next round was PI round. It was technical interview. So again, I was first for that.
Okay.
So that faculty, that sir, he asked me first, he went through my resume. He asked me for 1 minute just to go through my resume. And he also asked me to show my room if I was cheating or something. So after that, he asked me questions like from my CV, that what were the projects that I worked on, what were the internships that I worked on. And yes, like if you even mention, if your main language is Java, for example, but you mention that you have used C in your project, C or C++, then he will be keen asking questions from C or C++. He will not ask questions on Java. So I just wanted to mention that point. But then, so unluckily, I had used C++ in one of my projects, and being from ECE background, I am not versed with C++ that much. Java is my most strongest language. So he asked me if he could ask me questions from C++, but then I said that it will be better if you ask me from Java. Then he asked me questions from Java. He asked me questions on DSA, few questions, 1 or 2 questions he asked, and then he asked me if I know DBMS. I was honest that since I'm not from CSE background, I'm not that well versed with DBMS, but I know the basic concept. So he asked me easy SQL queries, 1 or 2. I was able to solve them. After the technical part, he also asked me that why Deloitte. So I was able to answer that I want to join Deloitte since like my goals and my aims are completely aligned with the policies and goals of Deloitte. So that is why I'm eager to join Deloitte. Then he asked me why should he select me. So then again I told him that since I am good in managing people, I am good at leadership qualities, and since my goals are completely oriented towards the policies of Deloitte, so I think I am a suitable candidate for Deloitte. So he was pretty impressed with my answers and he was convinced. Then he asked me if I have any questions for him. So I asked him these 2 questions, that since I am a fresher and I'm new to this corporate life, so what are the few things that I should learn so that I will be a successful person in this, my new journey. And also I asked him that what does he expect from me in the beginning 2 months of my career. So he like gave me a good explanation of all my questions for like 10 to 15 minutes. He explained me and I was pretty convinced. So my interview went on for 30 to 45 minutes. Then we were asked to wait for around 2-3 hours till all the candidates finished their interview. After this, from 89 people to 27 people were shortlisted for the next round. Now the last round. So this last round was again a PI, personal interview, but this time it was with a higher official of Deloitte. So this was scheduled at almost 6:30 p.m. So till the time I was waiting for my interview, I had got to know who will be my interviewer. So I did this thing. I just checked him out on LinkedIn, that who the person is and what is his role in Deloitte. So that was the most luckiest part of my interview, because at that time I got to know that he is Associate Vice President of Deloitte. So while he was taking my interview, it was like simple regular questions. It was more of HR questions like why they should hire you, why Deloitte and all. Again I answered him. Then he asked me that what is the most like best factor in you that Deloitte should hire you. So I told him that, sir, I am very ambitious in my life and I want to be successful in my life, that's why you should hire me. Then he asked me, successful in what parameters, what exactly is success? Then I told him that, for example, if I join Deloitte, then I want to be at that position in which you are, that is, I want to be the Associate Vice President of Deloitte. He was so convinced and he was so like happy. Then he asked me, how did you know? I told him that while I was waiting for my chance, I just checked what is your role in Deloitte. So I got to know from LinkedIn. So he was very much impressed, and then he told me that we want you in our Deloitte. We definitely are hiring you. So at that point I was confirmed that I'm getting this job. And at the end, 15 people were shortlisted finally.
Okay, so that's great. And after that you got the mail that all the total list of. Okay, so that's great. Congratulations again. And Thank you for sharing your experience. Do you have any suggestions for people who want to get into Deloitte?
Yeah, I will suggest that they should practice logical reasoning, verbal and quantitative questions. And typically they should practice previous year's AMCAT question papers. Like they will get a lot of idea that how their papers will be. Since most of the questions are repeated, so for my time also I practiced the last year's AMCAT papers. And I will suggest that even if you are from different branches, like not only from, obviously if you are from CSE you will know all the basic stuff, but if you are from different branches, then you should have basic ideas of DBMS, OS, networking systems and all, so that you can, whatever the questions will be, you should be prepared. And also the interviewers can ask you what are your hobbies, all the hobbies or all the extracurricular activities that you have done apart from the academic stuff. Like I had mentioned in my resume that I am a trained classical singer. So he asked me questions on even that. He asked me what are the ragas and all, tanas and all. He asked me questions on even that. So you should be prepared. Whatever you have written in your CV, you should be honest and you should be prepared for the question.
Okay, that's great. Thank you again for sharing your experience. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jishnu, for having me.